Hello, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Good? Awesome. I actually wish I could be lucky, sit there and finish all my talk for the day. All right, this is a very special talk for me because I actually live in the Raleigh area for 26 years. I graduated from UNC Chapel Hill. I've been working at IBM for a very long time, almost 20 years. And I joined a startup company called Solo.io 4 years ago. So I always feel very special to return to Raleigh and All Things Open to give a talk. And today I'm going to talk about what we are doing interesting in the cloud native community around Kubernetes Gateway API, around Argo Rollout, around AI agents. So how many of you were submitting last minute talk to KubeCon Amsterdam? Raise your hand. Okay, just a few of us. Hats off to you. Good luck. So a little bit fun fact about me. I'm also one of the co-chair for KubeCon Amsterdam. I'm really looking forward to that. All right, let's jump into this microphone here, if I can transition. All right, I'm going to show you through live demo, which is why I'm transitioning to this microphone. What we're going to do, can you guys see the fonts? Okay, yes? For folks in the back, good. All right, so I have my Kubernetes cluster deployed. Is the fonts okay here too? Yes? All right, I'm nearsighted, part of the problem with aging, so I always want to take care of people, make sure they can see things, and that's why I hate recorded demo on stage. All right, I have Argo. One bigger? All right, especially if you already ask, I can't imagine people in the back. Is it better? All right, I'll go one more. Okay, cool, I appreciate that feedback. So in my cluster, I have a bunch of stuff deployed. First of all, I have Argo CD installed. I also have, let's see, what else do I have? I have Argo Rollout installed, and I have already configured to use Rollout with Kubernetes Gateway API. I've been developing a demo application, which I will show you, and the demo application also have a rack service, which we have version 1 deployed with 3 replicas. I have Istio installed. How many of you are familiar with Istio Ambient without sidecar? All right, very cool. So basically, we have introduced service mesh without sidecar, which is why you can see my demo application in the mesh without sidecar. And I also have a waypoint in this namespace to help me mediate traffic. I have, what else I have installed? I have Kayali, which is a Red Hat sponsored open source project. Thank you, Red Hat. And Prometheus installed. I have K-Agent installed, which provides a Agentic AI framework, which we're going to use to help us develop agents. What else I have installed that's interesting? I have K-Gateway installed, and the reason I have K-Gateway installed is because I have GitHub MCP server running, and I want to front my GitHub MCP server with Agent Gateway. So in this case, Agent Gateway is serving as an MCP gateway to one of or more of my MCP server, and in this case, I only had one for simplicity. All right, so that's a quick overview of my stack. And let's go back to the Argo application and sync the latest of my code, which is, let me make this a little bit bigger for you all, which is Linsound Generative AI. And I'm syncing the Kubernetes path to my cluster. So you can see my cluster is in sync with the latest GitHub repo. And if you hop on the application, this is what the application looks like. And this is the RAG demo looks like. So if I click on uploading a file, which I'm uploading ambient.txt, one of the problems with RAG version 1 is it only accepts a PDF file. It doesn't accept TXT file. So what we're going to do together as a team is we're going to try to roll out a newer version of the RAG and see if we can get it successfully. All right. And just to be honest, my demo environment has been broken this morning, so I tried to repair it even right before this talk. So let's finger cross the demo god will be nice to me. So in my K-Agent environment, I have a bunch of MCP server. K-Agent comes built in with a bunch of MCP servers. So you can see it has MCP server for Grafana, have MCP server for Kubernetes, for Argo, for Cilium, for Istio, a bunch of them already exist. But in addition, I mentioned to you I was fronting the GitHub MCP server through Agent Gateway. And through Agent Gateway, I was able to control what tools out of GitHub MCP server I want to expose. How many of you actually use GitHub MCP server? All right, a few of you. If you ever use it, you know it has at least 20, 30 tools out of the GitHub MCP server. And because I'm using Agent Gateway, I was able to specify authorization policy to say, I only want to expose these 7 tools out of the GitHub MCP server for my agents to use, because I know my agents doesn't need more than that. All right, let's jump onto my agents. And this morning I was using, by the way, I have a couple models loaded. The default model is GPT, but this morning I hit a quota limit with my API key. So I switched to use Gemini on the fly now. So we're going to show the demo with Gemini in case you are wondering why I wasn't using GPT. And this morning I already gave a prompt. Let me change this a little bit. So just to save us a little bit of time, you can see on the right side, I'm using Gemini 2.5 Flash model, and I ask my agent, hey, I want to roll out RAG version 1 deployment in the default namespace to RAG version 2 using docker.io/linsun/rag version 2 image. Can you help me create a PR in the Kubernetes folder of my repo? So that was the prompt I was doing when Lucky was on stage talking. I was multitask and troubleshooting my environment. And my agent was kind of saying, hey, let's go ahead, finger out the RAG version 1 deployment. And let's go ahead, create the branch called RAG Rollout Migration. And let's go ahead, update the files. And let's create another files. So you can see these are all the things my agent was doing. Let's create the pull request. So let's actually jump into the pull request, see if it's working. With everything with agent at this stage, I think a more realistic approach is human in the loop, where we don't necessarily trust the agent. So in this case, let's review together. Especially, I just changed my model from GPT to Gemini. So let's go ahead and review the change for the agents. All right. Let me enhance this a little bit bigger. If I can push, I guess I can push this. All right. Font size OK in the back? Yes? Awesome. Love that. OK, so the agent was able to generate the rollout for me, which is pretty nice. And it was having RAG version 2. And the workload referenced RAG version 1. I'm not sure that's correct. I actually don't like that. The agent was able to specify I'm using Llama, which I am. The agent has specified image pool policy always, which I like that too. And I believe the port looks OK. And the strategy is a little bit verbose. And then the agent also generates RAG version 1 deployment, which I actually don't think that's correct. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that because I'm already have version 1 generated. So I think the version 1 deployment is already in my cluster. So having that is concerning, in my opinion. And what I'm going to do is add this file a little bit because I don't like the workload reference to version 1. So I'm going to delete that. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Honestly, like I said, my environment has been a little bit sick today. So, and then for the strategy, we're going to change it to be a little bit faster. So we're going to do 33 and 66 and to 100 just to save us some time. And I'm going to change this to maybe a little bit more about 10 seconds instead of a minute. Let's see if it works. All right. All right, I'm going to go ahead, commit this. What do you all think, by the way? Do you think that's reasonable? Yes? How many of you think we should approve the PR now? Give it a try? Yes? All right, thank you. I'm going to go ahead, stamp on the approval. And once this is approved, let's go ahead and merge this. All right, human in the loop. Hopefully, it's better than the Gemini generated PR. All right, once the PR is merged, what should we do? Should we click on the sync button and sync the latest change of my GitHub repo to my cluster? All right, let's go here and see if my cluster had some change. All right. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any cluster change in my cluster, so let's see. Okay, I'm going to try to see if I can Argo Rollouts and see if I can get status. Okay, I have a typo on the command. Let me find out the right command. Sorry about that. I think this is the right command. Actually, okay, rollout version 2 was not found. So that means actually this PR is not quite right. Let me see if we have rollout. Oh, it's called Argo Rollouts. Okay, so we changed the name. So let's see if this is there. Oh, God, got rollouts. I think it's called Argo Rollout now. Okay, it's still not found. I wonder if this is even pushed in. Let me double check on this. Okay, so this is in the default namespace. So get rollout. Okay, so we have the get rollout. Maybe it's there. Okay. Oh, I was looking for RAG version 2. Okay, that's why. So it's called RAG rollout. So it looks like it's there. And let's give it a try, see if it works. Okay, so we should be able to see the status now. Okay, I'm not sure why this is not here. Okay. Oh, okay, you're right. Sorry, this is the problem on stage. You make simple mistake. Thank you. All right, yes, okay, so we got our rollouts there. Let's see if it actually works. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually do a canary test. So we're going to try to say if we send to canary to this new version, finger crossed, it actually would send it. Oh, right, it actually did upload document. Okay, so I'm going to ask my agent to kind of, can you change my, if you remember here on this, on my repository, I actually have a route configuration. So given the route is kind of working, we tried it with, sorry, this is not the right file. I want to pull out this route. So we kind of tried with canary equals true. So we had some confidence, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask an agent. Let's see if the agent can do the work, or else we'll do the work ourselves. Change the weight to RAG version 1 to, can you change RAG version 1 weight to 50 and RAG version 2 weight to 50 in this file. and submit a PR for me. All right, this is live, truly live now. Finger crossed. All right, let's see if the agent can do the work. Honestly, I haven't really tested this myself with Gemini, but I've used ChatGPT, the GPT mini model myself. Let's see. Okay, it's trying to get the file contents, and I'm not sure if it actually does more than that. Let's see. It has 5 branch, so it doesn't look like it has that branch. Okay. It doesn't look like it was able to do the job. Ooh, that's a little bit, okay, given the time, I'm not going to spend time to debugging now. I think I only have a few minutes left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop in here, and I'm going to manually kind of change the routes to be 50% on version 1, and 50% on version 2. And the moment I make that change, I'm going to go ahead using Argo to sync the latest change. So this means if I'm going here, I should have roughly 50% going to version 1 and 50% going to version 2. Now you can see it's going to version 2, which can take now it goes to version 1. So that's relatively accurate, even though I only tried it 2 times. Assuming we try it enough times, which we can do it in a for loop. I think I have some loop here, so we can try it so you can see if it's 50% goes to which version. Just to save a little bit time, I'm going to go ahead and change this to be a little bit higher. So I'm going to promote everything to be 100 to RAG version 2, and sync the latest change over. And let's see if it changes anything here. So you can see it was 50% going to version 1 and version 2. Now everything should go all to version 2 now. You can see that from the command prompt. So it looks like the rollout works okay with a little bit manual. That's probably the state of Agentic AI at this stage. But what's really nice, though, is the AI agent was able to give me some hints. It was able to leverage GitHub MCP server, create the PR, create the branch for me. The model, sometimes you need to play a little bit with. Like the model I was using, unfortunately, is not the smartest model, especially the mini one. It's a little bit on the cheaper side, and sometimes it's not very accurate, but the pro version is normally a lot better. All right, so if we upload this file now, it should work. We should be able to ask, what is Istio ambient mesh? Which, by the way, if you ask Alama today, Alama actually didn't know because ambient is relatively new. So you can see it's different from the traditional service mesh, built on the concept of without sidecars. All right, given I only have 2 minutes left, do you guys want to see something fun? Yes? I'm going to analyze the engagement of the audience, if I can get it working here. All right, I'm going to put you all on the camera. If my camera is working, sorry, I'm not sure why it's keep asking me to do that. All right, looks like I can. I'm going to do an engagement on this side, and which is the first image. On the second image, we're going to do an engagement on this side, so we don't forget our attendee on the right side. And we're going to ask Nama, did I take the picture? No, I didn't. I'm sorry. Let's do it again. Sorry about that. I apologize for wasting your energy. All right, let's do it. All right, let's do it on this side. Sorry about that. I thought I did it. All right, let's do it on the right side. Yes. All right, let's take a photo. All right, and now I'm going to ask my Llama, which I'm using the Lava module, to analyze the image for engagement. Can you play the music? No? All right. All right.
In both images, attendees are engaged, but to varying degrees. First image shows higher engagement with at least one individual waving at camera and interactive elements. Second image depicts more moderate engagement with individuals seated in rows facing stage. First image represents a workshop-style event, while second is a keynote presentation.
Wow, okay.
This is cool.
Well, this is really the stage of the AI. You can't really trust 100%, but maybe you can trust it for simple tasks. All right, I'm going to wrap up my presentation with a dashboard. Let me forward the Kayali dashboard to show you what we all watch together, so you can see a little bit behind the scene, how everything is actually coming together. So what I'm going to show you is enable traffic animation, and let's see what space. So enable to see K-agent namespace, K-gateway namespace, and also actually I want to show the default namespace too. All right, so this is what I showed you in the last, I'll say 30 minutes, but you can see. All right, so this is, let me actually make this a little bit bigger. Sorry, it takes a little bit. Let me hide this on the side. All right, can you guys see it better, hopefully? Yes? Yes? All right, so what we have shown is we were able to reach the demo application from Istio Ingress, and from the demo, we were able to try RAG version 1 and version 2, and we were using Argo to roll out the new version of RAG version 2. We did it a little bit manual. You could actually set up an analysis template to do it more automatically, but I thought it would be fun to show it manually. What's neat because of running everything in Istio ambient, we actually got all the metrics that's needed to do an automatic rollout based on analysis template. What I also showed interesting is how my AI agent let's see if I can move this a little bit bigger here, is using GitHub MCP server. I'm using this agent called Argo Rollout. Let me see if I can see my agent somewhere. I'm hoping so. Sorry, it's a little bit busy. So I'm using my agent running in K-agent, and I'm using the GitHub MCP server. I'm also using some of the K-agent building agent. And you can see the GitHub MCP server is fronted by Agent Gateway, and Agent Gateway is programmed by a control plane called K-Gateway. So that's how I kind of built the demo together. Hopefully, you've seen how Kubernetes Gateway API with HTTP routes, how Argo Rollout with Agentic AI in action, how GitHub MCP server shows you a simple user case of MCP server along with agents in action, and maybe you'll be able to build something even cool next time for ATO. Thank you. Do you have any time for questions? Oh, no. Yes? All right. Anybody have any questions? Don't be shy. I know I can't walk to that side because of the recording. Go ahead. Can you speak a little bit louder? Oh, I can pass the microphone to you.
You mentioned you use the agent gateway to control the tool set required for the model. Right? Is it the functionality of the agent gateway?
Yeah, that's a great question. Did folks get the question? Yes? OK, so I was using Agent Gateway to set up the configuration to allow what tools to access in the GitHub MCP server. So I'm actually going to show you that. Where is my Agent Gateway? All right, let me switch to this microphone if it works. Does this microphone still work? Yes? All right. So what I'm going to do is bring up the Agent Gateway UI, which I believe is, if I remember correctly, I think it's running on 15. All right, so on the Agent Gateway on the agent gateway, I can set up policies. So in my policy, I'm setting up, in this case, I believe I should have authorization policy. Actually, it's not showing up here, but I do have a policy, traffic policy, sorry. So this is specific resources based on Kubernetes Gateway API. So in this GitHub RBAC policy, which I use it to program Agent Gateway, I set up the match expression for my RBAC to say, for the MCP tool name, I'm only going to allow the 7 tools. Does that answer your question? All right, great. That's a great question. Do I have more time, or should I just wrap it up? Wrap it up? All right. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of ATL. Thank you.